Hello, my name is Dr Amy Homes. I'm the founder and director of Shaw Psychology CIC. And today I'm talking to you as part of our series on Autism Awareness Month. So today I'm here to talk to you about spoon theory. So spoon theory is something that I think a lot of us use in our sessions. I know I certainly do. And it's really useful to explain a little bit about mental energy. Okay, so originally it was coined by an American called Christine Mezzadorino. Sorry, Christine. It was used to describe about chronic health conditions. So with the idea being that every single day, everyone has a set amount of spoons that they're meant to use in their day. But this spoon theory can easily be adapted for adults and children and young people with autism. It's certainly something I use in my household a lot. I have a very neurospicy household, and it's a really useful language that we use to communicate with each other. So I'm going to explain a little bit about that to you today. So if you imagine every single day you have a certain amount of spoons that you can use, and these spoons represent the amount of mental energy that you have. So going through and doing different activities in your day. For some people, you get up in the morning, you have breakfast, you have a shower, that might use 1 spoon. For some people, it might use 2 spoons. And then you have to go to work, or you have to go to school, you might get stuck in traffic, you might have an argument with your mum and dad, or your partner, that might use another 1 spoon. And then you get to school or work, you have to really concentrate on everything you've got to do, so that might use another spoon. Maybe another 1. Then you get to lunch. Now, especially some people with autism really struggle with food. That might use a few more spoons. The dining hall or the workplace you go to might be loud. That might use some more spoons. Then you finish the rest of your day and you concentrate, and you've got all different, friends that you might have to communicate with. Certainly with people with autism, you might struggle with their faces, reading them, how to communicate with them, and then you get home and you get the idea, okay? But the idea is within your day, you only use the set amount of spoons that you're meant to use. Because when you run out of spoons, then that's when you get a bit tired. So you might start to feel sad, worn out, you might start to get a bit angry about things. So once you've also used all those spoons up, it is possible to go into negative spoons. And if we start going into negative spoons, so that means we start pushing ourselves mentally, okay? So we push ourselves and we do more and more and more than we should do. The thing is, those negative spoons don't just disappear. Those negative spoons then go into your next day. So you start your next day with less spoons, which means that you've got less capacity. Why is this important? And why am I talking to you about spoons? It's because it's a good way of helping people understand how they should plan for their day, okay? So especially with children and young people, and actually I find adults find it just as useful, it's good to sometimes make a bit of a plan as to where you think your spoons are going to be spent. It's also important to say that you can get your spoons back. So you can get your spoons back by doing things you enjoy. So resting, spending time with friends, eating food you like. For autistic people, some of their special interests can also mean they get spoons back. Or by stimming, that would also potentially be another way of getting some spoons back. But what can be really helpful is planning out how you spend your spoons, because you don't want to get into minus spoons a lot because you're more likely to end up in burnout. And if you've got something really special coming up that you're really excited about, a few days beforehand, making sure that you use less of your spoons so that you're less likely to go into a negative. And this can also be really helpful as a family. So certainly in my household, you'll regularly hear us talking about how many spoons have you got left in your day? Where are you? And often it can be -20. And then we know, oh gosh, okay, I'm not going to ask you to do as many chores as you normally would, or push you to do something else. I know that it's about sitting down and getting those spoons back so that you can operate the way you need to. There's some really good resources online about this. NeuroWild on Instagram has got some lovely kind of animations that can explain this to children and young people, but you can find it's a really lovely way to communicate about how much mental energy you've got left. So I hope you find it useful. How many spoons have you got left?